What's going on YouTube? Super Insane 18 here, and today I am bringing you a deck profile for Burbs. In all seriousness, we have Flundereeze here, and this is a deck that I was very excited about for the Burst of Destiny set, so let's go ahead and jump on in. Now, just a quick disclaimer, there is going to be no combo at the end of this video like my recent deck profiles, but that is because on Wednesday I am making a full dedicated combo tutorial for this deck, so let's go ahead and get on with it. Kicking things off with the Floowandereeze monsters, we are playing one copy of Talkin and two copies of Stree. These are just kind of the secondary ones. They're not the best ones, but they do have good utility for the deck, and they are all searchable, so we really don't need to run many copies of them. Then we are playing three copies of Eaglin. This is one of the best starters, paired with three copies of Robina. For those of you that do not know, what Eaglin and Robina do is Eaglin on summon, it will add a level 7 or higher wing beast, and then you can immediately normal summon, and Floowandereeze Robina will add a level 4 or lower wing beast and then immediately let you summon. So these are the two starting cards that you really want to see, so they're the ones you max out on. Then we play one copy of Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. This is just honestly a blowout and very easy to get on the board. Then for the three big guys, we have one Mist Valley Apex Avian, one Rise of the Mega Monarch, and one Floowandereeze and Empin. These are just pretty much the only big ones you want to see because they are bricks. They are all searchable off of the Eaglin effect, and the Floowandereeze Empin will also get you your spell traps from the deck, as well as give you an additional normal like all of the rest of the Floowandereeze do, while Raizo will allow you to return cards, and Mist Valley Apex Avian is just an Omni Negate. Then we are playing three copies of Ash Blossom and three copies of Dimension Shifter to round out the monster count. The Dimension Shifter is incredible because all of the Floowandereeze banish themselves anyway when they leave the field, so you might as well hinder your opponent just to get a little bit of advantage for yourself. Onto the spells, we are playing one Called by the Grave, one Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds, which is kind of like a pseudo Monarch Stormforth because you are able to tribute your opponent's monster for a tribute summon that would require two tributes, but you are only allowed to tribute one of them, and then it also just gets you a little bit of advantage by letting you kind of mulligan your hand. One copy of Goldsark, again because they all banish themselves anyway, and all of the little birds have the effect of adding themselves back from the banish. This is just another extender. And one copy of Terraforming because the field spell is arguably the most important card in this deck, so you want to make sure you're maxing out on as many copies of it as you can. Then we're going to pretend that these are all the same rarity, but we are playing three Book of Moon. Not only is it an incredible interruption for your opponent, but this can play around certain hand traps with your birds. I will show you guys that in the combo video coming out on Wednesday. Three copies of Crossout Designator. Book of Moon will allow you to play out of cards like Effect Veiler and Imperm, so the Crossout is mostly just for the Ash. Three copies of Floowandereeze and the Magnificent Map. This card is absolutely insane. It gives you an additional normal summon, lets you normal summon on your opponent's turn, and also allows you to chain block your bird's effects, which again will be in the combo tutorial. Three copies of Pot of Duality. You do not special summon in this deck at all. In fact, all of the birds say that you cannot special summon, so this is just free advantage. Three copies of Pot of Prosperity. You really want to dig for the Robina and the Eaglin, so any way that you can do that is obviously good. Then we have one copy of Floowandereeze and the Dreaming Town. This is kind of like a Monarch's Erupt mixed with an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. On your opponent's main phase, it will let you get an additional normal summon, and then if you tribute while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it and Book of Moon all of your opponent's monsters. And finishing up the deck, we have three copies of Infinite Impermanence, just really good interaction, as well as possibly a crossout target if you don't see the Book of Moon, and that is the main deck at 42 cards. Now, for the extra deck for this deck, it is a little weird because you are locked out of special summoning, meaning that a lot of this stuff isn't really ever going to come up, which is why we are doing something a little bit cheeky, but I'll show you guys that. We are going to be starting out with one copy of Elder Entity Natis, one copy of Invoked Macabre, and one copy of Cyber Dragon Nova. This is kind of like a Dogmatica Maximus package, just in case you do get Maximud. It doesn't matter for this deck because you don't use your extra deck anyway, and Maximus is seeing a lot of play now that extra decks have gotten a little tighter and people don't have the luxury of running these cards. Then we're playing one Assembled Nightingale, one Downward Magician, and one Zeus the Sky Thunder. This is because if you have stuff on your opponent's turn that you normaled, you can start your turn without using your effects and go into this package to clear boards. That's really the only way you're going to do it, considering if you use the bird's effects, you're not going to be able to special summon, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Then we have an Almirage, a Hida, and an access code. This is another quick little engine just to give you a potential OTK. If you have normal summons left over from your opponent's turn before you do anything, you can Almirage with one of the normal summons, make the Hida with anything else, and the Almirage, possibly summon back like an Ash if your opponent used it, and that plus anything else makes the access code, just to give you a quick little OTK potential. And then the second half of this extra deck is going to be all Cherries targets. So we have the new Sword Soul Link monster, or Synchro monster, Chi Zhao. We have one copy of Drytron Mu Beta Fafnir, one copy of Crystron Halki Fibrax, one copy of Dodo Doodle Doo, one copy of Anaconda, and one copy of Shureg. Again, these are just all Cherries targets, so whatever you're up against, you'll be able to hit one of, if not the most important card in their extra deck, and if all else fails, they are Prosperity targets. And there you guys have it. That is my Floowandereeze deck profile for the post-Burst of Destiny format. I am very excited about this deck. I think it's actually incredible. I think it's everything that Monarchs wished they could be back in the day. It's very consistent, very powerful, and honestly just an all-around really fun deck. If you guys want to see the side deck for this, make sure to check out my Patreon. For just $1, you can see it, and it will vastly support the channel, so words cannot describe how much I would appreciate it. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see you guys next time.